I do believe we be alive. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, a beloved and a holy friend. I thank you for joining me once again on another conscious evolution. Today's whole stream topic is supposed to be about how fast things can change, right? Hopefully, mostly in a good way, right? Things can change for the bad as well, like, like so. But I want to encourage us to kind of think about just if you might be going through the motions right now, things might be difficult. Know that things will change, right? They'll change. Sometimes they'll change so quickly it will have some breakneck speed to it. But if we can keep ourselves present in this moment, we can see these changes through. Like I don't know if I want to talk about it in stream, just because I value your friends' state of mind as much as I do. But I'm gonna do it anyway, just because it really does kind of excite me. There's this thing called WorldCoin, right? And this is not me promoting it. Please don't get me wrong. This is me bringing it to your consciousness, right? It's one of the projects of Sam Altman, the same dude who created, or at least co-created, OpenAI, or ChatGPT, as some of you friends might know about. And OpenAI as a company has a philosophy that they believe that universal basic income, right, enough money for your basic needs, is going to be necessary if we're going to survive the future of automation, essentially. Pepe, Pepe. Family is back. So if we're going to survive the future of automation, we're going to need something, some sort of universal basic income to take care of people. So they started a second company, forgotten the parent company's name, and that company essentially had a product that they called WorldCoin, which is supposed to be evenly distributed cryptocurrency that actually can be gifted, to people so they can meet their basic needs. And they have this thing that they call the Chrome Orb, which basically has a bunch of sensors in it that they took into countries and they put them down and have them scan people's faces and irises, right? And I know, biometric information and the yikesness that can come with that, digital IDs, et cetera, et cetera. But they use this technology to basically authenticate real human beings. And if you're a real human being, you qualify to get some of this WorldCoin, right? And because of like the regulatory nature of like the more advanced countries, it's hard for them to actually start the technology up. In China, definitely not, or the US as well. So they end up going to countries that are the most impoverished, people who don't have anything, right? And there was like a bunch of flames being thrown about it being some sort of exploitation of people who don't kind of like have the tech savviness to know what it is they're getting involved with. But, and this is where my mind is going right now. Those people, if they wanted to, if they opted in for that, could get paid in this WorldCoin, right? For basically signing up to it, becoming a part of this universal basic income initiative. And today it got listed on Binance and it went up thousands of percentages of value, right? Like the last I saw it was like 1,500%. And that's kind of like the thing that really inspired today's change topic in me. It's just to imagine you're like living in a country where there's nothing, right? There's no infrastructure, there's no medicine, there's no job opportunities. And then there's this technology that basically comes into your life that allows you to become a part of a system of universal basic income. You get paid for signing up in this currency, and then you wake up this morning and you see the value you had is now worth 1,500% what it was just yesterday, right? And the sheer visceral breakneck life change that can bring, maybe someone you needed that money for some sort of medical expense, et cetera, et cetera. And to kind of like bring that into our consciousness that we can literally change people's lives radically in hours, right? In hours, not years, not decades, but in minutes even, right? Let's bring it back, to an even crazier time frame. And that is something to be excited about, right? Hurrah, humanity. Hurrah for universal basic income. Hurrah for taking care of people. Yeah, 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 yeah. High five. Dan, it's nice seeing you, man. We have Kristen and Shan here as well. Much love to you, brother Bear. It's always a blessing. I was just reading about WorldCoin before I came to stream and decided to pass for now. I'm not suggesting you invest, especially not right now, technically, because it just got like hype cycled into the moon, right? So I don't recommend you buy in. That was not the point, right? The point was other people have had their lives radically changed, right? People that are technically, because that's where it started, right? That's where the coins, at least some of them, went first. There's like 10% for investors, 10% for the actual company, I think, and the other 80% is going to go to humanity. And they started this whole initiative by going to countries who are the most impoverished, right? People who have never, they don't even know what cryptocurrency is. They're the ones who got it first. And they're the ones who are now benefiting because they didn't even have to buy it with their own money. They're just seeing the value that they got for free exponentially increase, and that makes me so fucking happy for that. Like I'm like straight up giddy. I was even writing in my journal today. I was like, yeah, would have been nice if I also got to moon. But I'm so grateful for those, who actually did get to ride that train. I'm a lurk again. Busy day. We love you, Jovan. Thank you for spending even a moment here in silence. It's okay. Mel, I didn't think you were saying to buy. I was just saying. Agreed, Nancy. Like I'm definitely not a financial advisor, right? I don't think I'll ever be one. That's not really my fractal, but I'm more, like even if we can like take off the entire context of what I just said, the fact that that is happening for people in the world, right? That we live in an age where that is possible. I mean, like just think about that. Like let's think about it in context of something a little bit more tangible. For instance, you're a wage worker, and then your employer gives you 3 coins, right? I don't want to. Like, you know what? Your employer gives you 1 coin, right, for your wage, as a wage for the day that you work, and the next day you wake up and you have 150 of them, right, instead of just one. Like that is radical. That is like life changing. That's like 150 days worth of wages, essentially, right? That just got generated out of pretty much nothing. And technically, it's not nothing, right? People buying the coin means that that value kind of flew. Like the value from those who actually have money flow to those who don't, right? Like I'm imagining like a Robin Hood kind of like level of experience with those people. I'm like giddy. Like it's my mind is like just tripping out. I can like literally feel the visceral excitement of the people who might be going through that fractal right now, and it makes me so happy. Joy V, blessings, dear friend. It's nice seeing you here as well with us. Tell us, what radical change have you friends experienced? Right? Any of you who have a story of like radical change, how it influenced your life, and if it's something that you want more of, right? It can be good or bad. And specifically, like at least in my mind, the thing that I want to kind of like touch on today is that ability to experience extreme change and to be okay, all right, regardless of what change comes. I am the one, I think I've already read this one a bunch, but I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read the whole page, even both of the pages. We are always creating what we desire. The way of the heart begins with a recognition that you are already loved by the only source that matters. Your greatest joy and fulfillment is in wholly and deliberately accepting responsibility for the whole of creation. That's one of my favorite lines in this book as well. It's a brutal one, right? It's like a little bit of a call to awareness. But again, your greatest joy and happiness, your greatest joy and fulfillment, excuse me, is wholly and deliberately, is in, I'm going to butchering this line, and let me start all over again. Your greatest joy and fulfillment is in wholly and deliberately accepting responsibility for the whole of creation, right? Again, in this context of the stuff we talked about a little bit earlier, realizing that all of us are responsible, right? That we get to wholly and deliberately take responsibility for all of creation, this world that we've created, the society that we've created, these products that we're creating, right? And the way that that influences people, the way that it changes our lives, essentially. Desire, intention, allow, and surrender. This is the way. What is our desire as a collective, right? I believe our desire is to make sure that there is more love in the world. What is our intention? More love in the world, allowing that love and then surrendering to that reality, right? That when that change comes, there is going to be a level of surrender. We're going to have to stop fighting to keep our greed, right? We talked about this a few days ago. If you fight for your limitations, you'll keep them 100%. I am the one who has chosen to assume the responsibility for the pebble called Earth. I, and I alone, am the source of what I experience and perceive. The I, right? The I with which all of us see. Genuine humility flows from the deep seated recognition that you cannot save yourself, that you are created and not creator, and that you are a fact and not a cause. Right? That one has like some mixed messaging, at least in my mind, for what I believe, that it is a collective effort, right? That the self, at least in my mind, is, a global consciousness. And in that way, it's impossible for me as this self to try and save that larger self. It has to be something that we come together, right? Like it is a unity kind of thing, a fact. Something called life is not yours. Also a trippy one. When you realize that, try as you might, you can never wrap the self around the source. That is humility. It's a trippy one. And yet, in a weird way, yourself is wrapped around the source, right? Because you have this source on the inside, and then there is this wrapper, this container within which you find yourself right now. I'm messing with myself right now. Change, I guess, right? Maybe like that's the thing that I'm experiencing. A change of state of being. I have so much hope for the future. Let me just say that. The more I see technology improving, right? Because that's the thing. Like we are on an exponential curve right now. That everything that we've experienced up to this point, even though some of it might not be ideal, is pushing us in a certain direction. And that direction in my mind seems to be in a positive direction. I think, so you have a new profile picture. Hey, Maxine. We have Kelly here as well. Duck Dad, blessings, dear friend. It's nice seeing you here. Radical change, yeah. Worldwide plague, no joy. No, like the sickness that shall not be named wasn't even remotely a plague, right? Like we've had plagues before. It killed like half of the population, right? Weren't even close to that level of world change. Fortunately, it did surely change the world. I feel the good thing that C-19, did for humanity was essentially just showing us that we can stop, and the world doesn't fall apart technically, right? Sure, industry might fall apart a little bit. Sure, the powers that be that are making excessive amounts of money with us producing things, that kind of system falls apart. But we can continue. Everything continues, pretty much exactly as it is, even if we don't have this rush mentality to more and more and more and more and more. And I feel like that radically changed people's mindset about what it is their values is, for the world. So how we can, go through something that can be potentially very painful and actually experience, positive outcomes. Radical change, right? Got to lurk until I drop off duckling and then shoot home for a little gardening with my friends around the world. Bless. Sounds like a blessing, dude. Merry Monday, Meltmorians. Love and light to all of you everywhere. Blessings to you too, Kelly. Thank you for joining us. I successfully hooked up my refrigerator to the water line. Finally, filtered water. Bless. Good for your health. I'm happy to hear that. Duck, I have 2 yard-bound friends that have been coming out in the evenings. They make me so happy. Very playful little creatures as well. Blast y'all with sunbeams full of love. Good morning, loves. Good morning to you, Maxine. It's nice having you here, dear friend. Ah, there is hope for the future. Positive change is coming. Positive change is coming. It's already here, in fact, right? People have already been positively influenced by the world that we find ourselves in. It's only going to accelerate. Listen to Melt explain. COVID shows a non-American perspective for sure. I mean, I'm not American, so yes, I do guess that I would have a non-American perspective. I was literally in China when COVID started. Do you know this? I was like in China. Like I couldn't leave the country because nobody wanted Chinese flights into their country. And I was pretty it was, it was uncomfortable to say the least, you know. Like I still have PTSD flashbacks from going through this experience of my visa basically expiring and there being no flights out of the country because all of them have been boarded or grounded. And then, you know, the whole countrywide basically giving this push of like, yeah, you can have like a 2 month extension if your visa is failing. And then my visa failed anyway because even after those 2 months, there were still no flights out of the country. And then I got mildly arrested because I didn't have a valid visa. And then I got sent back to another state. And then I was trying to get my visa or at least a temporary visa in that state. And then they let me know that I wasn't allowed to get a new visa in that state because that's not the state that I started within. So I had to go back to a state that I started within, get myself a temporary visa there. And then I had to pay like $2,000 for an expropriate, something like that. Like basically like an emergency flight. Yeah, it was a lot. So I got to have a very visceral perspective of what COVID did to the world. Like, don't get me wrong. But, and this is where the but comes in, there has still been positive change, right? There has been, at least partially, some positive changes. Love is true. I got to be back in this country, you know, in South Africa. And even though things aren't necessarily better here, it helped me be a little bit more grateful for what it is I find myself. Oh, my radical change isn't up for you to tell me it isn't good enough, thanks. My radical change isn't up for you to tell me it isn't good enough, thanks. I'm not saying you were wrong. I'm just saying that it wasn't a plague. That's what I was saying. I was like, technically not a plague, right? It was a pandemic. Hey, Google, define plague. Let me just fact check myself. I might be, you know, completely wrong. Plague, a contagious bacterial disease characterized by fever, delirium, typical of the formulation of bobules, bubonic plague, you know, like sores on your skin, and sometimes infected lungs, pneumonia plagues, an unusual large number of insects. Nope, not that one. A thing or cause of interaction. No. Causes continual trouble or distress to a plague to my health. Yeah, fortunately we didn't have any bubus. Bubus. That's how they spell it. Buboes. Bubonic plague. Yeah. I don't know if it was a plague. I might be wrong. Let me ask it this way. Hey Google, was COVID-19 a plague? I don't understand. Liar. Let me push the search button. Was officially claimed 5 million lives, but accredited an estimate placed that the pandemic's true death toll was closer to 17 million. Either count secures COVID position on the history's deadliest plagues. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Me wrong? Joy Vive right. I'm sorry, dear friend. Maybe it was a plague, you know? Like for some reason in my mind, I imagine plagues killing like half, you know, humanity. Like that's in my mind. Okay, yeah, no, we're getting plagued right now. But I guess, you know, I was incorrect. I lay myself down. I give you the nape of my neck. Slay me if you need to. My reptile brain says that the carbon emissions would have stayed down if COVID were a proper plague, but I don't think I'm allowed to make those observations. We could literally see the Earth take a collective Gasp of fresh air, you know, when industry starts for a little bit. 6.9 million deaths, but not world war plague. So yeah, you were right, Joy. I guess it was a plague, technically. Technically, it was plague, you know, but I had the plague twice, you know. I feel like that's also another thing. I feel like, you know, if you get the plague, you're kind of supposed to die kind of vibe. Where I had COVID twice and, you know, I survived both times. Might have had it a third time, but the third time I didn't get tested. Holy cow, I didn't realize that timing melt. That is wild. Mm, 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 mm. I might be missing some context. Oh, the timing with me being, yeah. Hey, brother Ryan, joining us too. Blessings, brother Bear. Yeah, it was exciting to say the least. I feel like the worst part of that whole experience for me was was the fact that, you know, I was like seeing some hectic media in China during that whole situation. Like people were trying to like get on trains, and yeah, I shouldn't actually talk about that. Like I don't know if the Chinese media would appreciate me talking about that shit. Like it was trippy and scary to say the very least. Like it definitely wasn't a good experience for me, you know. Like the amount of anxiety. Like I probably had more health negatives with the anxiety I experienced, more so than actually getting COVID. Honestly, Mel, I would have lost it being that far away from home and everyone I knew. I wasn't only far away from home and everyone I knew, but this happened directly as I moved away from the job I was working, right? So, like, it was like basically I worked for like 7 months for this one company who I learned through word of mouth that they were severely underpaying me. Like, $1,000 less than the other people were getting paid. And I was like, that doesn't seem fair. I speak English good. I speak so good English. I should be getting paid properly, right? And I was like, oh, wait, employer, sir, how about I get paid the going rate? And they were like, nah. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm leaving. And then I left. I went to Shanghai under technically false pretenses. You know, the person that wanted me to work for her, she promised me a really good salary, essentially 3 times the salary I was earning at that point. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like 3 times the salary I'm earning right now. You know, kind of vibe. Went to Shanghai, and then as I got in Shanghai, I might have been working for that company for like 2 weeks. It was like global lockdown, right? So I moved to a new city knowing nobody, and then I got locked down, right? So like it was double brutal. It was not fun, to be completely honest. And then there was like this whole thing with like you're supposed to register if you go to a new city, and I didn't know that. So like the police showed up at my door. They took me, you know, to go and like register properly, and then they came for me again, you know, like it was, and they thought I had like on the way to the police station, right? I was so stressed, like I was like boiling, and then they like did like the temperature scan on me, and I was like 42 degrees Celsius or something, and they were like, this dude is a COVID nuclear weapon or something, and I was like, no, please, oh please, I'm not sick, I promise. I'm just super stressed out right now. I didn't die. You know, my heart continues to beat to this day. Yeah, like oh goodness, COVID was an experience and a half. Again, Brother Ryan, it's nice to have you. Your new profile pics give me the smiles beans. I think Brother Ryan also has a new profile picture. How about that? Two of our friends changing their things. Me, I never caught it. You never had COVID? That's actually impressive, Sam. That's actually impressive, you know. And I guess that the sickness is probably dead right now. My immune system is badass. I hardly ever get sick. Bless. Continually so. Sam doesn't get sick. I got sick before, shut down, and not sick again until last Christmas. Nah, not sure if I had COVID though. Yeah, if you didn't get tested, you just know. No way to properly know. Amara, I never got it either. How about that? This is badass. I never got COVID, rarely get sick, but then I do for long periods of time. Yeah, the first time I got COVID, I got it from my dad. He had COVID, and I like gave him some mushrooms, and I sat with him holding his hand, you know. And then the second time was from Christian. He went on like a company retreat, and then people there had COVID, and then he brought it back to me. And yeah, that was the last time, I think, at least like proper last time that I had COVID. I didn't get it myself, right? I washed my hands, and ik was mijn handen in onschuld. I washed my hands in innocence. My work colleague got it a week ago. Got it from her parents. I got it in 2022. Sending you health. I hope that you stay healthy, Nancy. Me too, Sam, which is weird because I had blood work done. My white blood cell count is or was really low. Maybe they're just super powerful, you know. Oh, red clicker! Is that a red clicker that I see? Dear friend, how long has it been? It's such a blessing seeing you. It was Red Clicker's birthday like a few days ago. Sending you a belated birthday wish in person as well. I made sure to up my vitamin C to 2,000 milligrams a day. That's a lot of vitamin C. A mess ton of distilled water. Got tested multiple times. Nothing. Joy, have you seen the video behind the pic yet? The little kitty. I haven't seen it myself. Nope, I haven't. In Discord Red, get in here. Love is true. Hey, y'all. So much love. Belated birthdays being sent. Thank you for joining us, friend. Love is true. Today's whole stream topic is about change, specifically about how fast things can change. You know, how we can literally go from one state of being to a next in an instant, right? Like one of the cool things that I like to kind of remind myself of is that your whole life can change right now, right? It takes a single decision for your whole life to change. All right, you can take it to a bad extreme as well. Like if you drink a whole bottle of Jack Daniels, and then you get behind the wheel, that could also be a life-changing decision. All right, but we can make good decisions to change our lives as well. You know, and I feel like the decision we have to start making is just hope. It's just hope for a better future. True hope. Like it might not be easy these days. Especially, you know, it might be disheartening to see the amount of bullshit that we're kind of like forced to accept. And yet I still have hope for a better future. A more equitable future. A future where people actually have a want to be in it, right? Like I was writing in my journal today, I look forward to living in a world, or maybe like, how can I articulate this properly? I'm butchering it. Maybe I should just read it to you. No. Okay, yeah. Let me read what I said. Yeah, like this manifestation happens over and over again, and I'm gonna say it as words to program reality as well. Together, we will create a world where all have food to eat, a place to sleep, energy, healthcare, and community. All people deserve to be free from suffering. If we can melt away the anxiety of trying to survive, it will be the start of a new age where humanity can thrive. Love will melt into every single crack, healing the world of fear and greed. Yeah, let's go, humanity. Change, right? And it can change. Like everything can change in an instance, right? Like this world that we can sometimes end up fearing, this future that we feel, you know, might not be what we want, that can also change in an instant. Even though there's so much momentum kind of behind it, the amount of financial incentive to keep it going the way that it is, capitalism as it is not sustainable. You cannot, right? It expects us to infinitely, exponentially continue growing on a finite planet. Sure, we're going to start mining asteroids soon enough as well. That's definitely happening. But It's not sustainable to continue doing that, right? And like with the AI future, like just thinking about old Karl Marx, he would like literally, he's probably doing like 360s in his coffin right now. Like the means of production have changed, right? Like how much we output has radically changed. It's no longer the amount of hours you put in generates X amount of work. In a future of AI and software and exponential growth that comes along with those kind of things, something has to give, right? Something has to budge. And I feel the thing that has to budge is going to be our attachment to greed, right? This need for more. I feel like most people who have had that greed for more and then actually got the more that it was that they were seeking ends up realizing that that's not actually the point, right? Most of them, at least, I've noticed, right? If you go and pay attention to people who end up being super successful, you quickly realize that their priorities change as soon as they get to that point, right? And I feel like humanity is at that tipping point. The collective humanity is at that tipping point of realizing more and more and more of whatever, of stuff, isn't going to bring us happiness, right? Taking care of people, making sure that people actually don't have this deep-seated fear of whether or not they'll survive the next day, right? If they'll have food the next month. If we can take away that level of anxiety, it will literally be like lifting this collective, weight off of all of our chests. And I believe in that change. I believe, what's your radical change, Mel? Just a change of priorities. That's the way that I see it. Right? I see it as a change of priorities. Right now, our priority is profit. Mm? If we cannot profit from it, then it doesn't deserve resources, it doesn't deserve attention, doesn't deserve anything. If we can make our priority love, right, maximizing love on planet Earth, that would be the radical change I would like to see. Has doing these streams radically changed your life? Oh, absolutely. Oh, yes. Like my life is vastly different to what it used to be, right? Like just the way that I think of it like evidence, right? And I've shared this narrative with you friends before. Like I'm gathering evidence every day, right, to the person that I want to be, right? And you friends add to that evidence that I'm gathering of the person I'm becoming, right? And that is actively and radically changing my life. It has. It changes the way I think about fasting, for example. It changes the way I think about showering cold. It changes the way I think about exercise. It changes the way I think about my content consumption habits. It changes the way I think about what I'm supposed to be doing with my time. It changes the way I journal. It changes the way that I try to create things. It changes the art that I made. It radically changes me because instead of just thinking about myself, all right, oh, am I gonna be okay? Oh, my salary, in this, like, I get to be like, oh yeah, there's billions of us, right? And you friends, well, I might not be billion strong in the stream just yet, but the fact that you friends have added your lives to mine, have added your states of being, your perspectives, the way that you see the world to the way that I see the world has changed the way that I see the world. And it's been more loving as a result of that, right? Like, sure, we might not be perfect as human beings, but you friends are pretty loving, right? And that has changed my life for the better. Need to go into lurk mode for a while. We'll be holding space for you, Nancy. Shell joining us too. Is that red clicker? Yeah, it is. Blessings coming out from under the rock to try and be social. Again, radically changed my life. There we go. I feel like my mind is running full taps again. Allowing ourselves this moment. Realizing that this moment can be enough. Contentment, acceptance, gratitude for what it is we have right now. That can be a pretty radical change as well. Right? If you, for instance, have been stuck in this narrative of I don't have enough, right? Oh, what am I gonna do? Oh, I'm so scared. Oh, what if? oh no, this, that, and the other. And then that has been your state of mind for decades. And you suddenly change. Matthias? Matthias, Meld, long time, bro. Yossi, like, you're. I missed you. I'm tripping out seeing your name again, friend. It's nice seeing you too. How have you been? I've been good. Oh, I've been real good. Life has been beautiful. It's been hard. It's been hard. Like it definitely wasn't easy the last couple of weeks. But I feel it's been good. Like I feel change again, kind of like coming into the human mind. And it's giving me hope for what the future holds for people, especially for people who have less, right? I feel like this is maybe like something people don't really fathom with how I process information sometimes is, you'll hear me talk about the things that I talk about, and it can kind of be misconstrued through the perspective of someone who's already living in a first world country, right? Like all of you friends happen to be Americans or Canadians. And from that perspective, you have like a certain base load of privilege, right? And this is not me casting shade. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you get that privilege, right? That's a good thing because you're me, and you getting to experience that privilege means that that's a part of the collective consciousness. Hey, Zano, which is a good thing, right? But, and this is where the but comes in, I see technology as a driver for quality of life to those who have significantly less than we do, right? Like, for instance, I imagine, in like hopefully the near future, hopefully like in the next maybe like 5 years, I would like to start an initiative, like a type of fundraiser type of thing, where we basically collect old devices. If you upgrade your device, put that old device in a box, ship it to Africa, essentially, and then literally distributing those devices to African children, and then also alongside that, doing solar battery systems and then Starlinks, to basically connect Africa to the internet. Give those kids access to literal AI assistants, essentially AI teachers that can help them learn at a pace that has literally been unparalleled by previous human beings before that, right? And I see that as this global acceleration of consciousness. Like technology at least has been kind of affecting the lives of those who have the money to actually afford it. And I see the next 20 years that fractal reversing a little bit because we've reached a point of saturation. If you have a cell phone right now and you have an internet connection and you have enough food to eat and you have the energy to charge that device, you are already more privileged than billions, actual billions of people on planet Earth right now. And I want to see those billions of people on planet Earth just get to that same level, right? We've reached that level. Now it's time for us to kind of like share that level with other people as well. We're all privileged. Exactly. None of us slept in a cave or had to hunt a wild beast for dinner last night. Agreed. I'm not excluding myself from this privileged conversation. I know that I've been very privileged to be born in this body with my family, in this country even. I could have been born in the middle of Indonesia somewhere, where my parents were rice farmers, and it was expected of me to help them farm rice because that's the only thing that I could do. I can feel that fractal existing right now, that there's a person that calls himself me. All right. He looks in the mirror and he's like, oh, that's me. In the exact same way that I look in the mirror and say, that's me. Right. There is no separation. And I feel that that person in the next 20 years is going to be positively impacted by technology. Right. That's my hope for humanity, at least. Y'all learned that toilet paper only became splinter free. Splinters. Splinters in the toilet paper. That is so cursed. That's so cursed. In like 1930. That's modern privilege. Yeah. Weirdly enough, I was actually thinking about that today. Like I think it's a meme or something. And this might be a little bit gross. So if you don't want to hear it, close your ears and go, ah! Or you can just turn the volume down, right? But what's up with toilet paper, yo? I feel like I'm doing a stand-up bit, right? Like it's not my point, but if you, for instance, I'm serious about, if you don't want to hear this, close your ears and if you, for instance, wipe yourself and you get like a piece of poop on your hand, right? Are you gonna be satisfied with just taking a piece of paper and just wiping it off? Or are you gonna wash your hands with water and soap? Right? And yet yet we look down on bidets or whatever, right? I do want a Japanese toilet one day. You know, like when I was in China, there was this one place. I've forgotten their name. I'm sorry, dear friends, but they were basically offering the service of float tanks. You know, so you go into a body temperature body of water that has, you know, a lot of magnesium salt in it. It puts you in a box, so it's completely blacked out. There's a shower before the box that you wash yourself with, and then you have like earplugs in your ears, and then you go into that water and you float, and the water covers you, then you're up to like this, basically like up to your eye, like here, and you just float there. And then you completely dissociate because of the body temperature water. You dissociate your skin, like you literally cannot feel where you start and the, you know, where you end and the water starts kind of vibe. Of course, it's pitch dark. With the earplugs and your ears submerged in the water, you can't hear anything either. And then they had these, you know, toilets that were like Japanese toilets, and I was sold. I'm still sold. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm a believer. I'm a believer. Water-based toilets for the win. Duck and Joy are like opposite of the doppelgangers. I think I'm missing some fractals. The only Japanese toilet I'm familiar with is the Futurama kind that gets thrown away for knowing too much. I mean, don't you want your toilet to know more? Like, there's like an episode or a movie. Sorry, what was it called? I can't remember, but it's an Adam Sandler movie where it's about bullies, and they're like this baseball league, you know, bullies versus non-bullies or whatever. And Adam Sandler used to be a bully when he was young, and then he grew up to have a son who is not cool, and then the son was getting bullied, right? Kind of like getting his own medicine. And there's this scene where he goes to a rich friend's house and he pees in the urinal, and the urinal gives him a medical diagnosis of like, bruh, you need to stop doing this thing that you're doing, otherwise you're gonna die sooner, right? And I, like, ever since then I was like, why isn't that a thing? I want my toilet to tell me I'm gonna die. I'm sorry for saying it that way, right? I'm just like leaning into the fractal at this point. I want my toilet to let me know that right, we analyzed, you know, what came out of your body, and depending on these factors, you have a high likelihood of developing this kind of, you know, bullshit. So stop doing that. Like, I feel the biggest thing, the biggest enigma of humanity right now is just the lack of information we have about our own bodies. Right? For instance, butterflies will literally go and land on the faces of animals and drink the liquid from their tear ducts because there's salt in the tears of animals. Right? Like, they know they need salt. They intrinsically understand their little small bodies, right? Like, surely they can't be more intelligent than we are, and yet they know on an intrinsic level, I need salt, to the point where they go and drink it from the eyes of another creature, right? Like, that's some hardcore shiznit. And yet we don't know that stuff, right? We don't know if you're lacking salt. We don't know if you have some sort of deficiency. Like, even elephants, right? They venture into caves, scratching on the cave walls to eat the salty kind of like mud that kind of falls off. Like, I feel humanity will be a lot better off if we actually know what's up inside our bodies. Bidet all day, son. There we go. I use a Petri bottle. It's not just the brown. Pee is sticky and smells too. Sorry, TMI. Yeah, I don't know what that means even. Bench warmers? We have bidets in our toilets. You can get aftermarket 1 ml that goes under the toilet seat. It's true, actually. You are right about that. Or you can get a Petri bottle. The thought the toilet water spraying makes me want to roll around crying on the floor while I vomit at the same time. It's that bad for you? It definitely is something to get used to. I won't. How did we get here? Like, this is change, right? This is the radical change we were talking about. Now I have to be present in this conversation. I have to be present. I'm sorry that you have that visceral reaction. Is that white butterflies like me so much because I'm super salty. Maybe, right? Like I wouldn't be surprised if they come and land on you and lick your skin. Be like, yeah, give me that salt. The South Park episode on them is too good to, I think, bench warmers. Oh yes, I think it might be bench warmers. It's the movie you were talking about now. Thank you, Shan. I think that might be it. Hey Google, bench warmers, the movie. Wah, wah, wah. Yep, that's it. That's the movie. That bird is it's not having a good time. That movie did not get good ratings, it seems. 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, 1 out of 5 in Common Sense Media. I was an 8-year-old when I saw it. And an 8-year-old me. I was so stoked. The fact that the toilet talked to that dude. Like, yeah. Yeah. Joy, the bidet is hooked up to your water line. It's the same water that comes out of your tap. It's true. How did you think it works? What did you think it came? Spraying yourself with toilet water sounds like toxic. Yeah, I feel like that would be a little bit concerning. Agreed. Right? Maybe that's where Joy Vive's visceral reaction came from. Fortunately, that's not the way that it works. Thanks, Doc, but it lives under your toilet seat, so I'm cool. In India, they had these sprayers that was like kind of next to the kitchen faucet. They were so dope. Yeah, those I don't like, weirdly enough, because then you have to get up from the toilet and then walk over to that one, right? They had those in China as well. I couldn't. I was like, no, 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 no. Once in Korea, the time I got trapped on one, my chat just got yeeted. Trapped on one because I didn't know how to turn it off because everything was in Korean. Just kept spraying. Hello, Peppy. You looking at me? Hmm? Sweetie, sweetie. Peppy's stomach is growling. Are you alright? Are you alright? You have a growly stomach? You hungry? You hungry, Bobby? Okay. No, 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 no. I love a good morning shot of cold water in the third eye. I'll get your bull running in the morning. I want to change the subject so bad. Oh wow, birds. How about the birds? How about those? You know, like I've been thinking about this more than I'd like to admit recently about the level of consciousness that birds have as well. You know, like I saw this parakeet using a cell phone to watch YouTube videos. Right, like straight up. I mean, I think I'm joking. I'm serious. I don't know how it learned how to do that, but it interfaces with the cell phone using its tongue, and then it scrolls through like media, and then it clicks on videos of other parakeets, and then it opens those parakeet videos, and then it like looks at them, and then the person intentionally closes their video and opens to a video of humans, and it instantly, like without breaking a sweat, it's like nope, goes back to parakeet videos, and I was like, oh wow. I think birds might, have more behind their eyes than we actually give them credit for. And then I take it to the extreme of like thinking about dinosaurs. Like I honestly believe that the dinosaurs would be able to use our cell phones, right? Like not only use our cell phones, but use our cell phones the way that we do. 100%, I believe that if there were cell phones in the prehistoric dinosaur era, they would be making TikToks right now or something, right? They would be like straight up posting videos, starting debates online. I'm sorry. I'm trying to change the subject. Freaked out, started smashing buttons. It went harder. Oh, joy hours is at least all the way in the back of the toilet. Yeah, probably the cleanest part. Exactly. Pastor washer fresh. I was screaming in the stall. I'm just imagining Zana losing her mind. It's not cleaning nothing having to do with a toilet is clean. It's not clean. Nothing having to do with a toilet is clean. Yeah, and yet the invention of the toilet kind of like brought a whole new era of sanitary. Is that the right way to articulate that sentence? It made the world more sanitary, right? Having toilets that actually dispose of our waste properly. Mel, did you see my new mug? I haven't. It's what makes me happy. Please take a look. Let me see it. In the This Makes Me Happy tab, I'm guessing. This makes me happy. Ooh, mushrooms. Let's see it together. Yeah, 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 yeah. That makes me happy too. Those look like some psychedelic boykies. I think they are. I think they are. I'm pretty sure they are. I don't think we have this species in South Africa, but nice. Mushrooms. They are beautiful. Thank you for sharing it with me. I see Doug Tech celebrating the FIFA World Cup, Dixie and Kristen doing yoga together. Getting my heart melted. Getting lost in the Discord fractal. When I pushed the red button, it stopped. My life flashed before my eyes. I mean, that should have been the first go-to, right? Like, red button. Maybe means stop. Is John here? John, just popping in. I'm at work. Much love to you, brother. Love to you, bro. John is one of the people basically setting up sound for a BRICS committee, right? So our country is essentially a part of like an initiative that's trying to de-dollarize the world, right? By the BRICS system. And John is offering his services. He's helping them have speakers, right? We're seeing all of these interconnected fractals change coming to our world, right? The one time you're supposed to hit the red button, right? Zana, the one thing is to drown in the bathroom stall. That would have been a little bit embarrassing, right? You get into heaven and people are like, oh, so how did you die? I got ended by a Korean toilet. It's like, you did what now? Birds are not real. The one time you're supposed to hit the red button, just popping in love again. How the hell they're gonna use our cell phones with them tiny arms? I mean, not all of them have tiny arms, right? And technically, you don't need big arms. Like I think even though they had tiny arms, their arms were like still as big as ours, technically, right? By scale. I like your new mug, Shell. De-dollarize the world. Y'all got some balls to even think of it. Yeah, I'm not. It's not me. I'm just along for the ride. I'm like, oh, I guess my country is. Hey, Gob, Gobbity Goo. I've been missing you, bro. Sending you love it. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about change, talking about all of the change coming to the world. Is that you're comfortable like that? Instantly goes to the hangy head. There you go. Yeah, come here. She's like, no, don't you move me. Don't you dare move my body. I have a sore scrote. I've just had a vasectomy. That is some big change, bro. Holy goodness. I mean, I feel like, I guess it's appropriate that that's what we're talking about today. Big change, right? Radical change. I mean, I think it is technically reversible, but yeah, getting yourself snipped. Of course, I have curiosities. The first question that starts in my mind is why, right? And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's why. I'm sterilizing my goblets. Poor goblets. What a change, bro. What a change indeed. Yeah, I was still tripping out about the de-dollarization thing. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where it's supposed to happen as well, right? Like your country has a little bit too much power over the rest of the world, right? Like the petrodollar, that's it's a little bit uncool, right? The fact that I have to use dollar if I want to buy, like petrochemicals or anything that has to do with oil, right? Like I get why the countries as a whole don't want that anymore, and it is gonna create a little bit of an upheaval. But I do believe that it's not going to break anything necessarily, right? Not ultimately. It might break things temporarily. Radical change might end up happening, but it's not going to ruin anything, at least in my mind. Melt, I also took a picture of your chocolate habanero peppers. I tagged you. Let me see. In general? No. Melt more. Said he missed you this morning. I did miss Kristen. Thank you for letting her know. It's nice of you, Joy. La 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 la. Lost in the weeds. Tree seed germination kit. Man, so many fractals to get lost in. Flowers. There it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chocolate habanero. With your name in abundance. Enough for a batch of hot sauce. Unless the stew develops a taste for spicy. I love spicy, bro. Or you're talking about the rabbit, I'm guessing. Look at that. That plant has my name on it, right? Like I'm just tripping out that somewhere in the world, a person, a human being that we call Duck Dad, decided to honor me, put my name on a plant, put that plant in the ground. That plant started sucking up sunlight, use water, use carbon to basically assemble sugar molecules that ended up becoming little capsaicin peppers. Habaneros. You want to come sit on my lap again? You want to sit here? Or you're just going to look at me like indecisiveness? You want to come and sit here? Come. Come here. Come. Yeah, come. Yeah, you can do it. Oh, thank you. There you go, sweetie patootie. Isn't she, sweetie patootie? Yeah. Oh, baby. Baby Woofter. Okay. If I want a child to love, I can full well go and get one. It's true. There's more than enough children that don't have people to love them right now. I don't like the prospects of unplanned pregnancies in this climate, Even planned pregnancies are more dangerous lately. And I have a few days off to recover and work on melt more flower painting. Love you, bro. Thank you for being so mindful. Thank you for thinking about the future. Even if change comes, love is true. No bike rides for you then, I'm guessing. No. Good for you, Gob. It only lasts a couple of days. And the soreness, that is. Yeah, I'm guessing. Red button could nuke someone. Yeah. I'm gonna push this red button on my toilet. Ends up nuking someone. It's like, are you responsible? If you nuke someone with the red toilet button, should you be held responsible? Is it your fault? Yeah, can you put your progress in Discord? The painting, please do. I would also like to see it again. How about the Rocto peppers? I'll post some pics. More love. Wondering the flower painting is coming along. When my dad got his snip, he told me I stepped on a nail on the way to work. Oh, I told him I'm sorry that happened. He said, "Don't be so. It needed to happen." I hope he got a tetanus shot. I might misunderstand what the stepping in a nail means, but I hope he's okay. Shall I do not? He stepped on a nail and it punctured both of his vast differences, Duck Dad. I'm also confused. Gav, I'm happy I'm not the only one. Pippi has like a flappy ear. Yo, Bo Bizzlebot, there she is. It's nice for you to send her some lovin's as well. Pippi being like all dapper. Are you protecting me? One buttocks on my lap, two legs off of my lap. Yeah, this is my comfy spot now. You hear that helicopter? Where's that? What's making that sound, huh? What's making that sound, huh, puppy? You hear that? You hear that? She's like, you're bothering me. Oh, I'm trying to be majestic here. I'm going to try and figure out how to legally ship your hot sauce. I think hot sauce should be fine. Hey, Google, can you ship hot sauce to South Africa from America? Guide to shipping liquids. Know the rules for USPS, FedEx, DHL, UPS. Na, 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 na. Yeah, 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 you can. Yeah, it seems you can. Can you send hot sauce in the mail? Uh, After months of research, we determined an order was safely. Padded envelopes, bubble wrap, and boxes, custom boxes. Yeah, it seems you should be able to. It does have like an issue with like food, plants, and animals. It seems, especially endangered. So technically, hot sauce is food and plants, right? Yeah. Rules. So many rules. Synchronicity slash small world. That's the way it is, dude. Weird. My mom's roommate is in the waiting room with me. That is pretty strange, right? I'm imagining like that Spider-Man pointing at each other a moment. Like, no, you gotta have to put more than hot sauce in that box. It's ridiculously expensive to ship to Melt. Really. Like I felt bad seeing the price tag on the box that you sent me. Joy Vive paid $63. That's on top of the money she spent to buy me the gift she did as well. Right. I don't know if I was clear enough on that. And thank you, Joy, for being willing to do that. $63 is a lot of money to ship box, right? Like, come on. Come on, country. Come on, dude. It's not that expensive, bro. Gotta make it worth it. Agreed. Synchronicity is a small word. Hey, Connor. Blessings to you, friend. It's nice seeing you. Yeah, no flora or fauna. Agreed. Hope you're all doing well in these trying times. Doing better with a beautiful friend like you here with us, dude. It's always a blessing seeing your name in chat. Let's pull a card, shall we? Yeah. Some radical change. Let's see if the card is going to echo either an idea that we're supposed to be aware of in face of radical change, or maybe a card about radical change itself. I'm down for either or. Let me shuffle my deck a little bit. My cards are splitting. Right, you can see like that. It's like splitting. So when I try and shuffle them, they get all caught up in each other, which is less than ideal. I feel at the whims of radical change, and I'm going with the flow. I believe in you, bro. Like the radical change is coming. That could be the Xanax talking. In moderation. I see how people get to the, yeah, there it is. I love you so much, bro. I don't want you being addicted to Xanax. All right? Get addicted to life or get addicted to exercise. Your gob is like, bro, shit is rough right now. Oh, Xanax can help. I get it. I get it. Who am I to say? I just want you to stay healthy. Keep taking care of yourself. Got 3 more weeks, then I'm back to schooling. I hope you're earning good cash at least, Connor. I had to take it to relax my muscles. Oh, for the snip snip. Okay. Okay, good. Baby's for Xanax. I've also never had Xanax myself. Most of the drugs I've had have been a little bit more on the experiential side, less so the taking the experience away side. Gab's gonna be addicted for life. Get addicted to life and the Xanax life. No, dude, please. Please. Nobody needs more Xanax. Right? We need less pain. Oh! You see. Xano? That's orange. Right? Such a like it like fits perfectly with today's scarf as well. We've pulled this hard woman card 3 times in like the last 3 weeks or something. She's really coming back over and over again. Nah, I don't foresee more Xanax in my future. Good. Okay. Like, obviously, it's your life, your body, your choice. But I want to experience life with you, right? I want your body to be strong and Xanax free. Oh, Xanax. Yeah, I know that it's a big thing for you, American friends. Upright, heart woman. Look at that gentle smile. What countries are advocating de-dollarizing the world? Well, BRICS, for example, and I think there's like 40 more of them. BRICS is essentially Brazil, Russia, see facial expressions. India, China, and South Africa. They're the ones who make up the coalition at first, at least. And they're gonna bring a new currency into the world called BRICS. Or I don't know if the currency is gonna get called BRICS. It does make sense to me, right? I'll give you 5 bricks for this thing, right? Kind of flows off the tongue, kind of vibe. But yeah, it's basically, you know, an attempt to de-dollarize the world. Like it's gonna be a bumpy road. Like there is some, as Goo beautifully said, some trying times coming. Yes, sir. Made about 5 grand over the summer. So not bad at all. Bless, dude. That's so cool of you, man. I'm happy that you're earning that cash dollars. Being able to go back to college, you know, with a little bit more value in them pocket. I like how the sun is shining through them trees. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The fractal continues. Heart women. Okay. I'm ready. Joy. Just need to get in shape. Gang, gang. Exercise. I ain't seen this one. You haven't seen it? Then it is for you. Gobbledygoo. Pulled specifically for you. Card number 61. Let's read what it means, shall we? Inner knowing and integrity as the core meaning. One more time. Committed to your mind. And then we'll read what it means. The heart woman is filled to bursting with the radiance of universal love and light from within. She holds in her arms 3 water lilies, which represent our potential, our humanity's potential for enlightenment. And she is surrounded by vibrant feather-like geometry borrowed from a 2006 crop formation. She stands firm in her heart essence, and here represents the highest and best in us all. This card requests that you, man or woman, connect with this woman of the heart and your own inner knowing and core integrity. How might you more fully embrace life's potential and live wholly from your heart? What must come to the surface in order for you to live your personal truth? Be not afraid. Be not afraid. Release feelings of inadequacy and realize that by the original integrity of your soul, you are a powerful being of manifestation. Resolve today to connect with your inner knowing and the reality of your divinity. You are the beloved child of God, perfect and whole, nurtured and loved. This brilliance is fundamental to all beings. As you let your gift shine, you also give others permission to do the same. As you are liberated from the worry of not being good enough, your presence will also support and encourage. Your presence will without doubt liberate others. Allowing your light to be a beacon of support and encouragement in someone's darkness may aid in liberating them from the shadow and dullness that hold many in doubt. Stand fully in your own inner knowing and trust the integrity of your heart. 11:11. Yeah, 71% on my battery. It is 17:11 on my side as well. So even more synchrony. 1% here, 41% there. All of them ones. I'm ready. In shape. Aren't you in shape from your scaping? I mean, these things take time, right? If it took you a decade to get into bad shape, be okay with it taking a decade to get in good shape, right? No shame. It's progress. Slow progress is still progress, you know? Doing 1% a day is still 1% a day. And if that is all you can manage, that is enough. Love is true. Let's play some kalimba. French toast sticks. Play some kalimba for a few minutes, and then we'll say goodbye for the day. Radical change coming to humanity. Ah, there we go. There's some burbs. There's some cutlaughters in that tree. There we go. Let's play some kalimba, shall we? Them burbs be singing as well. I was trying to show you while I was playing. We got a little friend joining us. Looks like he was just vibing. It's like, yeah. He's so chill. You're a brave little dude, aren't you? There he flew away. Imagine having 1 HP and then landing on a giant and then just running around on his fingers. Connor, be careful this week. Basically 100 Fahrenheit degrees on Thursday. I hope my customer will switch days. That's crazy hot at this humidity. Blessings. Stay hydrated. Get yourself a scarf and wet it. Kalimba does something to the beast inside of me. So nice seeing you here for the last of it, Brother Bear. I mean, the effect last week because your brain doesn't like getting cooked is true. Brings me to a place of peace and calm that I don't often find elsewhere. Like it makes it worth it for me, Brother Bear, to keep playing it. I can't even tell you. Do you have wind chimes around your property? Absolutely. I need the plings and the planks in my world. I have some glass ones I need to clean up and hang again. Yes, glass. Yeah, that sounds pretty sick. Shell, it's funny you asked me that. I'm redoing all of my wind chimes today. Synchronicity, right? The serendipity of the space. You and your bugs. That's why you got that bug scar. Thank you, Joy. You know me. That little bug keeps landing on my hand. Little buggies. Repositioning them and just changing it up a bit. There you go, Shan's message saying, have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I for sure love you all so very super extremely mega giga gigantically gargantuanly colossally considerably astronomically dearly melting all of you oh so very wonderfully amazingly stupendously splendidly memorizingly miraculously gorgeously dazzlingly radiantly magically divine friends as we love you, dear Shan. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Joshmo. I am but a mirror again, right? A conduit, a channel through which love is allowed to flow and like a fountain bursting from the ground. If there's nobody to drink the water will go unappreciated. Right. So I appreciate you friends for being willing to experience this change, right? The change we're going through together, right? Like, sure, this will remain the same, but the world won't. The world's gonna change a lot, and at least we have the stability that we get in this moment, being able to share these loving moments with one another. Thank you again. Another beautiful day to all of you humanimals in this space. Love is true. Shanner's messages always bring smiles. I love you, friends. Me too. Thank you, Joe, for letting her know. I love you, friends. To the moon and back. Look at that sun. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that so sexy? Right? Being held by that tree. And that little cow. I'm so sorry. I know there is something wrong with me. I don't know what it is exactly. I feel like it's the way I articulated to myself on a LSD trip with my homies one time is like a morbidly curious baby, right? It's like small baby, the way they'll just put random stuff in their mouth, right? That part of me hasn't died, it seems. You see his little cow. There they go. Mama cow and baby cow. Aren't they sweetie patooties? I'm gonna wait until this sun is consumed by that tree. I feel like we can experience it together. The sun setting. Love you, Bigly. No, you. No, you, Kristen. No, I love you. No, Joshua, love you. No, Jovan, no, love you. Ah, baby cow, I want to see. I'll get closer to them after the sun disappears over that horizon. You see, it's getting close. But they might be leaving. Yeah, they're leaving. Womp womp. You're keeping the cows from us on purpose. Yes. You know, I want to say words, but I don't think the words are appropriate. I'm holding out. Yeah, that's good. That one works. I'm holding out on you. You know, maybe if I have like $5 billion of Patreon support a month, then maybe cows. Like cows are cows, right? Everybody knows cows. I think at least cow hoarding, hoarding all of them cows. I just share some videos so we can hear them. I'm posting mine. Glass chimes. I can do this though. Like I that sun is about to set over that withholding. Yeah, withholding. They left the spot they were in. They seem to be moving to the other side. Extinguish. Yeah, it's getting there now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What are the odds? Oh man, I was a little bit late. There's baby Kiao and mommy Kiao. Yeah, there's a shot. Bah! Got him. You got baby Kiao. Congratulations. And there's still a little bit of that sun peeking through that little spot. Can I feed them apples? Nope. They won't eat apples from you, unfortunately. Pay the cow tax. I live in a city. I'm not that easy to see the moo cows. You got to see moo cow. I shared moo cow with you at least. I'm happy to be able to. Definitely after I get them all birdified and Gaia gives us a good breeze. This is the way. Can I feed them apples? No. They won't eat something from your hand, unfortunately. I don't know if they're wild, but they're not wild. Or is it just horses? Horses will eat things from your hand. Like I've had that happen a few times, but not the cows. We have cows everywhere out here. Yeah, you have a lot of cows in South Africa and in America. I think you might have like the highest cow population in the world even. Where I live, Joe, there's more cows than people. Yeah, there we go. Joy cows all day in my city. You'll enjoy seeing them. Love is true. There we go. The sun has gone beyond the horizon. Love you, dear sun. Go and give light to the friends on the other side of the world as you leave me for the day. Sending you, friends, all of the blessings. I thank you for welcoming change. All right, realizing that it is inevitable. Change will come. We get to make the most of the change that we experience. I love you, friends. I look forward to doing this again with you soon, tomorrow. Blessings to you. Goodbye. Until we do this again. Actually, and then. Love you.